I'd like to take a minute to thank this week's sponsor, Duluth Coffee Company. Duluth Coffee Company holds a special place in my heart. Not only is their coffee amazing, but they're the first local business to not only believe in what we're doing here at Unsigned Pop Punk and the Where Did All My Friends Go podcast, but to sponsor an episode and help us fund this project. Duluth Coffee Company started with one person's love of coffee, roasting it out of his garage and delivering it with his old F-150. Now you can find Duluth Coffee Company anywhere, from online to grocery stores to restaurants and their own cafe and roastery in downtown Duluth, Minnesota. You can shop for all things Duluth Coffee Company at www.duluthcoffeecompany.com. They have everything from their coffee and coffee subscriptions to merch and equipment. And if you're in the Duluth, Minnesota area, stop by the cafe, get some coffee, and let them know that Unsigned Pop Punk sent you. Thank you so much again to Duluth Coffee Company for sponsoring this week's episode. I still have like my original like He-Man and Battle Cat and stuff from when I was a kid, and a bunch of other crazy stuff like that my dad just kept around.
Same, dude. I'm so lucky that they kept them. They brought them all down because I'm in South Carolina now, but they just had a giant just trough of all of my stuff like all in one. I was just pulling out. I was like, this is amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah,
man-child heaven for sure.
Absolutely. And like when you're like going through it and you're like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah,
I remember this. Like I still like my dad had brought over, actually it was like 6 months ago maybe, and like it was like a garbage bag full of just random shit that he's like, well, I found more things, and most of it was like incomplete figures or like weapons that went with figures. And I was like, right. I remember I picked one of them up. I'm like, this was the flamethrower from fucking Rambo, my Rambo action figure. I remember that.
Same, exact same here. Picking it up, I was like, that was from the Michelangelo Ninja Turtles. He was a surfing Mikey, and that was something that went on his shoulder or whatever. Yeah,
just like the little pieces that went with it. Like somehow you can remember them.
Yeah, I can't do long division anymore, but I've got that.
I mean, to be fair, I never really did long division well. So.
I didn't do it well, but it was done. Yeah.
Whoa. Maybe done at best. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Where Did All My Friends Go podcast, a podcast about life in the music industry. Today, we have Nick Thompson on the show. Nick Thompson's a founding member of Hit the Lights, Thief Club, songwriter, and producer. Nick, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Heck yeah. So, like right out the gate, I was looking at stuff. I saw that you did a post for Thief Club yesterday. You know, you have announced a new EP titled "Don't Get Too Attached" coming out. What are you able to tell us about it?
Well, it's something I've been working on probably since I think December of last year. Thief Club has always been, those that know it, people might not know it. Either way, it's always been a little side project for me. Mm-hmm. It started out kind of like dumping off any songs that didn't work out with Hit the Lights, that I wanted to explore more. It was kind of just a way for me to, I guess, creatively move my songwriting along and stuff rather than just kind of relying on everything to be through Hit the Lights. Mm-hmm. So over the years, I think a lot of people know it just sounds like pop punk. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of been it. There hasn't been really a vision for it. It's just been an outlet for me to just keep releasing music. But this past year, I kind of settled in, especially after the pandemic. I built a baritone guitar in my free time. So I was like, I'm going to get some use out of this baritone guitar. And started getting kind of off into a more, I guess, spacey, ethereal, heavier vibe. Kind of giving a real direction to it that I've never given Thief Club before. So I was sitting on these songs, started making videos for it, just kind of let the creative process take me. And that was when I really didn't know what I was going to do with it. especially when you're releasing songs nowadays. I didn't know if I should put it out on a label. I should just release it streaming. Kind of when things come out streaming, you kind of just drop things off, and they're just out there, and they either get into the ether or you get some type of marketing behind it. So what I'm trying a new thing here, and it's basically I'm just letting all the Thief Club fans, if they want, they can purchase this album ahead of time, because it's going to come out eventually anyway. But what I'll do is anybody who wants to purchase ahead of time, basically will bankroll my all of the funding for marketing and stuff for my songs. So it's kind of like a weird, I guess, experiment that I'm trying right now, where I'm just giving people the opportunity, if they want, they can support, and in return they get a bunch of new songs and a new video right off the bat, and in turn they also give me something as well. So it's something mutually beneficial, and I thought made a lot of sense, kind of on, I want to say, the same terms as crowdfunding, but a little different. And like I said, I'm just kind of putting my stuff out there, and it was the first day I announced it yesterday, and it's been awesome. People have responded wonderfully, and I really didn't know if people would want to come with me in the direction that I'm taking Thief Club. But everyone's been really nice and said they've enjoyed it so far. I don't know if they're just being nice, but a lot of people have gone on their way and saying they like it. So, and I'm sure there's some people that don't like it and they're just being nice and don't tell me. But yeah, so that's where it is now. I said pure experimental phase, with the new video coming out soon, and I'm sure it'll be released officially and probably start rolling it out in about 2 months, I'd say.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, I'm sure it's good, Nick, because like everything you have done with Hit the Lights or Thief Club, any of that stuff so far, it has been great. Like at least my personal opinion, I think it's great. Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I'm stoked to hear
I never
the new
expect
stuff.
people to, I know that sometimes I'm known for a certain sound too, especially with Hit the Lights and stuff. And that's okay too. I'm perfectly happy with that. This is just, Thief Club gives me a little leeway to get a little weirder with stuff, and I'm kind of utilizing it that way. So yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's a side project, so or solo project, or what with anything that's outside of what your normal project is. It gives you those opportunities to try something new, try something different. So it doesn't have to have any kind of like, it can be a little chaotic, can be chaos. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It's
yours.
All
feeling stuff out too. Yeah. I'm just opening, just pushing on doors, peeking my head in, see what I like about stuff. If I like it, I'll take it with me, and I'll just keep on moving.
Hell yeah, absolutely. So you kind of, were talking about how it started, how Thief Club started. So it kind of, you started the project, or at least announced it around 2012, released the first album, Just Give Up, in late 2013, early 2014, depending on where in the world you were.
Sure.
So what made you want to start doing this?
It kind of started after Hit the Lights released Invicta, which was a record that we came out with after 4 years. We got stuck on a major label for a while. Finally, we were fortunate enough to get released off of it. And at that time, we kind of came out of it, a different band, because we'd been put through the ringer of songwriting and stuff. And, kind of was very confused. I know I was very confused about who I was as a songwriter after that. My confidence was gone, because I've been working with different songwriters and hearing different things for 2 years. So once Invicta came out, I think a lot of people were expecting like Skip School Start Fights 2.0.
Sure.
And it just wasn't that, and it's not something, it's just not the way we could have gone anyway with all the stuff we went through. But touring on that album kind of drained everyone, I think, because the album didn't do that well. And so we all went home and kind of just took a break from touring and stuff. And we're just kind of over it, because we just been through, 5 years of hell, really.
Right.
Just trying to release an album. And that was never what it was meant to be. We always wanted to just have fun. And, it became we got caught in the machine. And that's just what the music industry is.
Yes.
So I probably went about a year without even thinking about music. And then slowly but surely, I started dusting off these old demos I had. And the more I listened, I was like, I like these songs. I want to see them come to light. They might not come through with Hit the Lights, but I still need to see them through. So that's kind of how Thief Club came about, where I hit up Rob Freeman, my good friend, who did Skip School Start Fights, and our Coast to Coast EP, a couple
Mhm.
other things. And just went out, and it was just a cathartic experience of just recording this record of all these demos that I had, you know, and kind of finding my creative passion again. And, you know, kind of using that as an experience to get these songs off my chest so I could move on as a songwriter to the next thing, which basically led to Hit the Lights, Summer Bones, which is, you know, to this day, one of my favorite releases by us so far. So that's kind of where it started. It wasn't meant to touring like that. It was just a pure studio project, just to get out my creative juices. That sounds gross.
No,
But,
I get it though.
use
I
my
mean,
juice, man. That's all.
you gotta release the juice, man.
Squeeze it, baby.
But yeah, I mean,
thankfully, I think that, you know, I once we released it, people all kind of want to hear it because a lot of the stuff kind of sounded like Hit the Lights anyway. You know, a huge part of it was pop punk stuff. So
right, yeah,
obviously people gravitated toward it rather easily because it was a easily digestible, you know, catchy pop punk songs, and that's kind of how it got its start and kind of went from there.
right on. Right now, this is something I've always wanted to know.
Yeah.
Did the name Thief Club come from the Obama McCain South Park episode?
Yes.
Where they're trying to steal that diamond?
Yes, that's exactly where it came from. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
It's
I couldn't believe it wasn't a band name when I looked it up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm jumping on this right now.
Yeah, and you had like, it's so good, and that's such a good episode though.
Oh, it is. It is. Like, good on you, man. That's great. Love it.
So we talked a little bit about Thief Club. We'll hop into a little Hit the Lights stuff here. So Hit the Lights formed in 2003, where you were originally on guitar and backing vocals until you took over the lead vocalist position in 2007 after Colin left.
Correct.
What was the transition like, switching roles from being a guitar player to the frontman?
I hated it. I definitely, even when we were looking for singers, we spent about probably almost a year trying out a lot of people and stuff. And there are a lot of really talented, awesome people. Mm-hmm. But we had to keep in mind too that we needed someone that we'd get along with in a van, touring nonstop for a while. And that magic person didn't come. And we had floated around. Me being a vocalist, I had no interest in it whatsoever. I was very happy playing guitar, doing backups. So, you know, and I credit Rob Freeman too. When we finally decided, and I credit Fred Feldman from Triple Crown too. Shout out to Fred Feldman, who backed us up with this insane idea that all of a sudden this dude who's never sang for a band before was going to take over. And then we went in with a lesser known producer too, nonetheless. And we had 2 months to really figure it out, and me try to figure out who I was, what my voice sounded like. Mm-hmm. And that was just the first, half of the struggle. And I'm glad we had the 2 months to do that, for me to start finding my voice. But then transitioning from a guitarist to a frontman in a band is a whole nother world.
Completely different.
Completely different. And I'm not the most social person anyway. Never have been. I thoroughly enjoyed being a background guitarist. And when you're a frontman, you really have, you have to be the one to talk to people too, but you have to be at the merch table. Mm-hmm. And all that. So I think what was nice was the fact that I was already in the band and people knew me. I think it made it an easier transition, and people kind of were rooting for us, really, we really had an underdog vibe where people were rooting for us because I was already in the band. So it wasn't like, oh, this new person coming in and switching.
Newbie.
Exactly. It's still the same people writing the songs and stuff. It's just now he's got a higher voice. So yeah, that's kind of came about. But man, from the first show we had, which there was some Veterans Hall in New Jersey. I'm trying to think where it was, Cherry Hill maybe. But that first show, I remember being so fucking nervous and just kind of shaking, just like, this is gonna be weird as hell. And then as soon as that show started, everyone just erupted. It was just a madhouse of just energy and fun. And after that, it was okay after that. I still do sometimes. I just kind of black out when I'm on stage.
Sure.
I don't, everything just kind of, it's all emotion and energy. and then I don't really understand what happened until the end. I think that might be some compartmentalization on my part as well. But just having those people there, you know, all that energy projected at you, and, you know, feeling loved and feeling accepted really helped me with that transition as well. And I'm still learning to be a front man in a lot of ways.
It's so hard though. I mean, like, just the whole going from, you know, just your movements, you know, you like as a guitar, you could just kind of stand there, you get that rock stance going. You can't just rock stance as a vocalist. It doesn't work that way.
You can, but you have to do it well, you know. That was another thing too, when you know, we would tour and I would, you know, my thing, I just get up there and I just explode with energy. I'd run around, I could get that all out. And then we'd play these shows opening for other bands where, you know, there was a bunch of instruments and stuff behind us, all backed, and we couldn't move anywhere. So it was me like not being able to do anything and just getting so frustrated because I couldn't move around and stuff too. And there's an art to that too, of appreciating that, hey, you can still make it fun and stuff without being a madman either. But that's all learning, you know, and that's kind of all I've been doing, kind of figuring myself out slowly but surely, you know, till this day.
So with that, I mean, so the first album with you on vocals was Skip School Start Fights, which, you know, started that chapter. So was the reception for the new lineup all positive, or was there any backlash at all?
I think people would still always say, you know, like, I liked him better with Colin. And that's something I always understood too, because I love Colin's voice. I like this better with Colin. So it's like, motherfucker, Colin doesn't want to do it anymore. What are you? But for the most part, no, because even like, you know, Skip School outsold Stick Up, you know, too. Like right from the get-go, we were on the right tours and we were selling crazy amounts of Skip School Start Fights. So like that was definitely vindication and validation for us that we were onto something, you know, we originally thought was special, and, you know, it obviously connected with a lot of people. So there was something there. So, you know, you're always going to have people who don't quite dig what you do, or like, you know, I like some bands that their old vocalist better, you know, it's just going to happen. And, you know, a lot of that too is people attaching their memories and stuff to albums and songs. You know, so people say it's just not the same. No, it's not. You're right. But, you know, now we've done the same thing with our records going forward too. So it's just part of the game. And for the most part, you know, I feel like we made it. We did the impossible when a lot of people didn't think that we were going to last.
Absolutely. And I mean, I remember when Stick Up like came out, that's what I was introduced to, but it really wasn't even for me until Skip School Start Fights came out that I was like, well, shit. Like I used to play that album on repeat.
Yeah.
Like I loved that album.
And I feel like we were kind of finding our sound more too, you know, like we did, this is a Stick Up, and that was an amalgamation of, you know, 5 years of being on the road and writing songs. We had super old songs that were like the first songs we've ever written. And then we had songs, you know, brand new ones like Body Bag. So like we were kind of finding out which way we wanted to go anyway. And even when, you know, Colin officially decided to leave, we already had, you know, Stay Out, Drop the Girl, Don't Wait already written, you know, because that was, I think we were finding our stride, you know, where we wanted to go, where we wanted to take our direction to. So it wasn't like we had to change everything. And in fact, I think probably with our guitar tuning and stuff, it helped that my vocals were a little higher than Colin's, because we had to tune the shit way down with Colin, because he was, you know, so much lower of a range than I was.
Right.
So it kind of worked out in our favor with that too, where we didn't have to get baritone guitars, which I ended up getting anyway. So,
so we have a Discord channel to where we offer people the option to come up with questions for our guests, and this is actually the first time we've been able to get a couple questions, and there was a couple in there that I thought were kind of funny. They're just goofy, dumb questions.
Wonderful.
But because you brought up Body Bag, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna ask. One person asked, how many people have you put in a body bag?
Zero so far. Well, that I know of.
Yeah.
Who knows, like butterfly effect, like what little things I've done. If I like picked up a nickel going down the street one time that led to someone's death, that's possible. I might have killed a bunch of people.
That's fair.
I don't know if you're keeping up, but I get sent this link on from TikTok like every day now.
Okay.
It's a comedian named George Brennerman, I believe.
Okay.
But he's got a whole thing on. He's talking about body bag, and he pretty much just says what body bag is. It's like a whiny pop punk nasally voice singing about killing people, and that's like hit TikTok and gone like viral. So it's funny now that I see when I check stuff out, I just see people like telling stories about how they know what the song's about and stuff, and it's really funny reading these just lies that people say. Like, I talked to Nick and he told me what this song is about. It's about a fight in a gas station where they left somebody, and it's always really funny how people just make up their own stories.
Absolutely. They all want a story to tell.
I'm not correcting anything. I'm letting it fly, baby.
I was gonna say, I'd ask you, but let's leave it. Let's not let anybody know. No one, they all got to come up with their own idea of what it means.
Yeah, it belongs to the myth now, man. That's all.
So we had one other question that I thought was fun from our Discord. It was, how far of a walk was it from your house to 309?
Oh man, that was like, I think from the house we wrote that at, probably about 10 miles at least.
All right. Well, now
you get some chafing for sure. For sure.
Especially if you're going back and forth.
Yeah.
Right on. Let's see. Now I have to get back to where my actual questions were. I fucking pulled up the Discord. Okay. So Hit the Lights released the latest single, All Messed Up, Christmas Day of 2018. Are there any future releases or shows in the works, in the plans?
I will just say yes, and I'll leave it at that.
It's a good enough answer for me.
Yeah,
I'll take it. Now we can be all like excited for when it's announced.
I'm excited too.
Good. I would hope so.
Yeah.
You've recently been featured on tracks from some amazing up and coming bands that we've worked with over at Unsigned Pop Punk. Wishing Well by Further North, False Start by Out of Time, and Stay the Same by Gold Steps, who you kind of worked on the whole EP or album.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
What do you love the most about collaborating with other artists?
I love getting in someone else's head, coming up with song ideas and song themes that really matter to them, whether it's diving deep into someone's faith, the loss of a loved one. My favorite thing is getting in there and coming up with a concept that means something to them. I've especially with Hit the Lights and stuff too, we would be with some producers and stuff where like we would write these songs with them and we just wouldn't feel a connection to them, and that was always something like I never want to just write a song with someone that they don't have a connection to. What's the point if they're not up there and they can't feel anything when they play it? What's the fucking point? So when we're trying to find a theme or what we're trying to say about songs about, I love getting to know that person, that artist, and talking through these things, and I think in a lot of ways too, I'm just taking what I've learned and passing on to them too, where we're just building off those ideas of those questions about anything from life, love, happiness, all that stuff, and just saying, okay, how can we extrapolate on this? How can we turn this into something that now the listener can also, want to be a part of, that they can also feel something as well. So I think that right there is one of my favorites, digging in and finding something that means something to that artist, so we can make something special. And then I love at the end, I love releasing music. I love when they release music. I remember when I first started getting into producing, I was curious how it was going to be because I love releasing my music and seeing what people have to say. And I wanted to know what the difference was when it comes to another artist. And there is no difference. I feel the exact same. I'm so excited to get it out and read what people have to say and see if people connect with the songs and stuff. It's the best. It's putting out a song that makes a connection with someone. Like, I don't know what else you could possibly want. It's the coolest shit ever, and it's beautiful, and I don't know, I'm happy whenever I'm a part of that.
Heck yeah. So when it comes to like just the different aspects, I guess, or avenues you can choose, what what do you find the most enjoyment out of? Would it be performing live or like the producing, like behind the scenes in the studio aspect?
I would say hearing a song finally come together, especially being in the studio, especially doing some serious songwriting excursions or whatever you want to call it, it can get really hard. And I make sure that we're pushing ourselves and putting our all. We're not half-assing anything in there. So it can get tumultuous too, especially when you have a bunch of band members together too. Someone might be on the same page, someone might not be on the same page. So like putting that work in, and then finally getting the spot where you're hearing those songs come together and getting those aha moments, like there it is. Oh, there it is. That's, you know, having these moments where, you know, there's these parts of songs that didn't work, and then you're snapping these Legos together, and all of a sudden you just hear it. It's just those, you know, there's big moments in the studio where you can there it is. There's that song. There's that idea. You know, that's the best. I love that shit. Put it in a line and snort it. That's my shit, dude.
I agree. I'm a big fan of the studio process, because I feel like, at least for myself, I get a lot of anxiety for performing like on stage and stuff. So there's a much less anxiety involved to me than, you know, when being able to be in the studio. And I just love that whole process.
Yeah,
writing
it's
and
a magical thing. It's a magical time, and it's not always easy. And sometimes you want to. I don't have any hair, but if I did, I would want to tear it out.
I feel you, man. I got
you. We're there. But at the end, it's, you know, it's always worth it.
Oh yeah, because I mean, there's those times where you're going in and you're going into the studio and you'll have everything's ready to go. Everything's prepped. You did all the pre-production. It's all good. And then one member is like, you know what? I've never really liked this part. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
God damn it, Terry.
Flipping tables. That's it. I'm done.
To be in a band, yes.
Yes. Oh, those days. Those days. If you could give our listeners before we head up into the next segment, this is the last question for it.
Awesome.
Before we go into that, if you could give our listeners one piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting out, what would it be?
Oh, that's always a good question.
With thousands of different answers.
Oh, always. I would say always, and it's going to sound so cliche, but always go with your heart first, especially when writing things, especially when you get involved in the music industry and, you know, compromises need to be made and stuff. I think going with your heart and your gut, even when it might be taking a chance on yourself, even when it maybe puts you in a place where you're not sure what's going to happen, I think that will always be the move over settling and always wishing that you took a chance on yourself.
I mean, if you're going to go into the music industry, you got to be able to bet on yourself.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's nice too, because we are in a time where, you know, it's not like I do not think that labels are obsolete by any means.
No, they just changed.
But the relationship now that you can have with your fans, just as an independent artist, with all these facets of social media and stuff, and merchandise and just cultivating, you know, a group, you know, your Discords, all that stuff. Right. There's so many cool tools to utilize now, and a chance to really connect with your audience like you never could before. I'm speaking as someone who does not do anything nearly enough, but I see a lot of it. It's very inspiring of all these artists now that, you know, they're just doing it on their own. They are literally doing all this stuff before the label even gets involved. They are building this fan base and stuff off of just their love and passion and time that they put into that. And I think it's so fucking cool. And yeah, the internet ruined music sales for sure, but there's definitely a balance there. When you can have a really beautiful connection with so many more people now and cultivate that I think is definitely magical. Right.
Yeah. I mean, the whole landscape's changed. And one of the things that, you know, from interviewing people from all different like aspects just in the industry is being able to change with those times. Some people have a hard time with it. Some people thrive. But I love the fact that all of the avenues that you had to take before are all very reachable, like
Absolutely.
now, to where it wasn't before. You know, you had to know people, you had to figure out how to know these people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like now it's kind of like, well, you can, I mean, doesn't mean you get to know them or you'll become friends with them, but you can at least know who they are and make an attempt.
I mean, you're not necessarily going out, standing out in the street and having someone listening to your Walkman with your CD in it, which is a little better now. More people can hear music, but at the same time, now it's like there are a billion people all with their Walkmans out, wanting you to listen to.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, trying to find your audience and stuff is a whole new ball game. But you know, the tools are there that you can be successful, and a lot of people are. You know.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to put in the effort. Now it's just a whole different type of effort.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our next segment.
Imagine having all the best up-and-coming pop, punk, emo, ska, and alternative bands all in one place. In a once-in-a-lifetime playlist. Unsigned Pop Punk presents the Unsigned Pop Punk Playlist. 50 new songs from the best up-and-coming bands in the scene today. All your favorite artists you've never heard of yet. All of this for just $3.99. Go on your computer phone now and listen to the best new artists today. Or submit your own music at www.unsignedpoppunk.com.
And we're back. Now we're going to get into that's a big Truly. That's a big boy one, isn't it?
Yeah, there's like this much left. I took it to a pool yesterday. I bought one, so now I can use it for my movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to be prepared for these kinds of movies.
Always.
So we're going to hop into our obscure questions segment. Normally this has a little less music-y stuff and just more random talk. However, I decided today that I'm going to bring this segment that I was going to start in, and I'm going to start poking these in all the episodes now.
All right.
So we're going to do a variation of the game Kiss, Marry, Kill. Thinking of your Hit the Lights catalog.
Okay.
Pick a song that you personally love that's like just yours, no matter popularity or not. So one you personally love, one you'll play forever, and one you have to get rid of.
Oh man, these are all hard. Okay. I personally love a song called Revolutions and Executions, because the guitar riff is really hard. So I like to make my other guitarists play it.
Yes.
I like to write things and then make them play it.
Nice.
Now the one is playing it live? The one to play live?
The one you'll play live forever.
Oh, I mean, Body Bag. Easy. We always have to. It'd be that or Stay Out. And then one that I don't like.
Yep, one you got to get rid of.
It's a good question. I'll probably say Faster Now from Invicta.
Fair
Not
enough.
a bad song, but I just don't give a shit.
And see, that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be a bad song. It just has to be a song that you don't care about.
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough how much I completely understand the playing of guitar riffs that are difficult. See, I do that to myself. At least I used to do that to myself. And I was like, because I'd play guitar and sing, and I was like, you know what? I could play this riff. I'm like, yeah, well, I can't do both. Not that talented. And
Dude, I'm with you.
But you know, when you're in the studio, that shit doesn't matter. I don't have to worry about that yet.
No, I love writing studio riffs. I even go and I record the studio riffs, and then you know, Kyle or Kevin or Omar will start to practice it for tour, and he's like, I fucking hate you, dude. I was like, I understand that perfectly. You're right.
You see, you record. See, I was just like, record that, and I'm like, that's a future Pat problem.
Exactly. Well said.
So this is the science question I was talking to you about. So looking at all of the new photos from space that have been just coming in from NASA and all the galaxies photographed, how long do you think until we finally form a federation of planets? And more importantly, find other life out there amongst the stars?
Well, I imagine that I think we'll probably find some at least some evidence that there was life on Mars, whether that be bacteria, fungus, something like that. I think it's only a matter of time before that. As far as like a federation thing, maybe we already did it. Maybe that's kind of what we're seeing, with this UFO thing. I think in a way, I think the aliens are already here. I think that they are just at a different frequency, maybe a different level of consciousness that we still need to evolve to understand. I don't think that we'll be finding aliens that are on our level physically right now, because, well, I guess unless we figure out, how to go through wormholes or whatever.
Yeah.
I think by the time we're that advanced to explore the stars, we'll realize that we don't need ships to do that at all. That's my take on it, and I'm an idiot, so that's all I had to throw out. I think in a lot of ways it's probably already happened. It's probably happening right now, and they're already around us. We just don't understand, like how ants don't know that we're around them. I think it's probably the same thing.
Probably. Now, along those lines then, so do you think that Tom DeLonge knows? Does he fucking know? Because I think he fucking knows, man.
He sure swears he does. I don't know they do a good job of this disinformation, where it's just like everything could be bullshit. Everything, they just feed little pieces of truth into the social consciousness every couple decades. I think he's probably involved in something now, whether it's someone using him, or if he's, really onto something and with some group of people that are the good guys, bad guys. I don't know.
Have you read any of his books?
No, I've tried to look up Cliff Notes because I don't want to read them, but he makes me want to. Okay, he's doing good with his marketing, and I think that's what puts me off too. Because I'm like, motherfucker, if you know this, why wouldn't you put it out? Why wouldn't you say it?
So straight up, I've read all of them so far.
Okay, we're going to talk more then.
Okay, they're great.
Okay.
So he has like two different like series or sets of like books. There's one that's like all like facts type stuff, and it's all like these are like the events and how these happened and like research and stuff. And then he's got this series of books called Secret Machines, and I think there's only 2 of them out so far. I could be wrong.
And he folds all these facts that he has into the story, right?
Yeah. So that's the Secret Machines books are like, it's like a story, but so the names are supposed to be different, but it's a story, like it's like entertainment, like, like somebody just wrote a book based off of facts that he was given. Now, whether he's trolling us or not, they're great. They're very good books.
Well, then I might take you up on that, and I might get into it then.
You should check them out. I've sent a few of my friends that way, and they enjoyed it as well.
Now, do you actually read the book, or do you do audiobooks?
I've done both. I'm a big audiobook guy, but I've read one of the things I like to do is I like to do both if I can.
Sure.
Like I'll listen to it when I'm driving and stuff, and then like in bed before I go to sleep, I'll try to like read where I left off.
Okay, gotcha. I'm the same. I walk my dog, or gym stuff, riding the bike,
right,
through the car. Like I'm always podcasts or books, audiobooks. So I might have to take you up on that, dude. I'm very curious, definitely curious.
They're good stuff. So not taking account into movies, What would you say is a guilty pleasure when it comes to TV shows?
Oh, good question. Guilty pleasure.
So like for mine,
Yeah.
mine is getting stuck actually being entertained by reality dating shows that my wife puts on, no matter how much I want to fucking hate them. We found ourselves going back and rewatching Flavor of Love.
Oh, wow.
You remember that?
Of course.
Yeah, so good.
So my wife does the same thing too. She's recently been watching this Marrying Millions or whatever.
Okay.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah, they're so
but again,
bad.
it gets me rage watching it, you know? Like I'm watching, this is fucking terrible. But then at the same time, I'm just getting involved. Like, oh, this motherfucker. Oh,
Yeah.
this girl wants it.
Oh,
And, yeah. And I'm getting my neck going and stuff too. I'm just like, it got me. It's got me.
yes.
I think
Dude.
with mine, it's more YouTube shows, I guess.
Okay.
My guilty pleasure is things like the John Campea show and stuff, where they just talk about things like Marvel movies and shit like that. I just nerd out about hearing about the inside things on who's getting cast and who's having problems and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
sure.
I definitely catch myself sometimes thinking like, what are you doing, dude? It is what it is, though.
I dive deep into YouTube. I like Toy Galaxy. That's a great
follow
channel.
that. Love Toy Galaxy so much. So I do a
Toy
lot of the YouTube stuff over TV shows when I'm like eating or something like that. Because I'm in my back room a lot of times working on music anyway. So I'm taking my breaks. I go to my YouTube subscription channel and then I'll do the Toy Galaxy, John Campea show, like new rock stars, all that crap.
I also have a very huge like love and respect for like competitive eaters. That is a major, like Matt Stoney. I love Matt Stoney. Or Joel Hansen is probably one of the most like incredible human beings I've ever seen. He is a specimen. Dude, I'm telling you, look this shit up, man. Look up Joel Hansen. Find the craziest thing you could, like, he's a competitive eater and a fucking model. Okay? Dude's fucking jacked. He just ripped, beautiful, and then you'll watch him eat 12 pounds of food. It's insane. So I watch that at bedtime because that's my wife likes to listen to him because he's very kind of boring. But she's like, it just relaxes me.
I love it.
I'll
have to check it out.
Yes, it's
lots of notes this show I'll have to revisit.
Yep, well, just hit me up.
Awesome, I will.
I'll list them. That is the end of the obscure question segment. Now we just got one last one. It's you're just gonna speak from the heart, shoot from the hip.
Okay, let me align my chakras real quick. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Now, that's
they're both so good.
Star Trek.
Nice. I've been watching so much Star Trek lately.
Next Generation's fucking banging, dude.
It's so good. And have you watched Picard?
No.
Get it.
Okay.
So good. So good. Okay. Mario or Luigi?
Mario.
Now this one is a little more tricky. You're going to have to dive real deep into the cavities of the brain. Bring yourself back to your youth. All right. This isn't a either or question.
Okay.
Can you sing me the Bagel Bites jingle?
Pizza! Just at the pizza supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime.
You got it. That was it.
There was a lot of mumble in the beginning, though. It's like
pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening.
Pizza at supper time.
Hell yeah. Congratulations.
I guess it's saying, when pieces on a big up, you can eat pizza anytime. There it is.
Whew. You, dude.
Professional, dude.
Hold up. First off, I'm sending that over to Bagel Bites, okay? I'm calling my guy. I'm going to be like, Bagel Bites, new commercial. We're going to call Nick Thompson.
I need it. I need that BB money.
You need that Bagel Bites money.
I do.
All right. Gwen Stefani or Haley Williams?
Gwen. Nothing against Haley, though. Love Haley, too.
No. See, one of the things I always like to remind everybody, this is nothing to do with like this person sucks or this person sucks, is personal preference. And I mean, I grew up listening to No Doubt. It's gonna be Gwen Stefani.
Queen, how is she hotter now? How do you do that?
Oh, yeah. She's a vampire. That's why.
Yeah, that makes sense. All the fetus spinal fluid. Yeah.
Yeah, like Charlize Theron.
Adrenochrome? Yeah.
Didn't know if you knew. Vampire. Yeah.
Vampire. So. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
From a scientific standpoint, that all makes sense.
George Clooney, vampire.
Vampire.
Mm-hmm. He's the king, actually. Hard shell or soft shell tacos?
Hard.
I will crave a hard shell taco really hard, but I'll never like get crazy for a soft shell taco, but I would always prefer it.
Yeah, like if I'm doing things like driving, trying to eat a hard shell taco from Taco Bell, it's a death sentence. You know, there's no point. I still do it, but it's just the fucking worst. It's the worst. I don't know why. So I think soft shell is way easier to eat, but I need that crunch.
I agree, especially if we're talking Taco Bell. I mean, Doritos Locos.
Oh,
that's my hard shell.
Cheesy gordita crunch. Fuck with that too.
That's my bet. That's the best. That is my Taco Bell Supreme.
Yeah, that's how I'm earning my diarrhea for sure.
Yeah, and you earned it.
Yeah,
you earned it with that.
I got a bidet. I don't give a fuck, dude.
Hell yeah, my wife won't let me get one.
Oh, she
doesn't know.
She'll thank you later.
She will.
Just do it.
She will. Last one, Sum 41 or Yellow Card?
Oh, it's a great one too. I'm gonna have to go with Yellow Card.
Yeah, okay.
That's a hard one though.
It is, but they're two different spectrums of pop.
They are. Yeah, and I love them both. So yeah, that's some hard ones, dude. Fuck you.
Hey, you're welcome. I wanted to make you work for it. You earned it though, because you earned it. You did it. You finished the podcast. Now it's your chance. You can let everyone know what you got going on, where they can find you. What's next?
Oh man, the camera over there, Let the people know what you got going on.
Camera here. You got a camera here.
That camera here. right here. Well, listen, folks, please, if you can, check out Thief Club. That's my little project on the side. Got a new EP coming out in 2 months, so you can get it now for $10 on my website. You can get 5 tracks and a music video. And if you do that, you'll join a mailing list, and then I'll be sending my other new video to you as well. Got Gold Steps, my peeps in Gold Steps. They've got a new record coming out. Their pre-order starting the 19th. They're releasing another single. They've already released 2. They're fucking wonderful. Well worth your time and money too. I'm so excited for the world to hear these songs. And then keep your eyes on HTL. I won't touch the fucking Facebook until there's actually something going on, because I made the mistake of like changing a profile picture before, and everyone just like, it's happening. I will not touch it until stuff's going down. But once it does,
it's happening.
Yeah, I'll never do that again. Never do it again.
I just really liked this picture.
Just switch it up. Just making the hit the lights thing.
It's just a nice picture.
I had to just crush everyone's spirit when nothing happened.
Yeah.
I apologize. I'm going on record now. I'm sorry, guys, and that won't happen again. That profile pic won't change until shit's going down.
Right on. Well, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. There we go. If you see that change in picture on Facebook, know something's coming.
Yes.
Well, that's it. This has been another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music industry. And we'll see you next Monday.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you so much to those of you who already are. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or anywhere else you stream your podcasts. If you're in the position to help us grow and like behind the scenes access and exclusive shows, head on over to our Patreon at www.patreon.com/unsignedpoppunk. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see on the show and what other content you'd like to see. Thank you all so much.